Here we go. Good evening and welcome to Mild's Culture Plate. I am your host, Kevin Miles. Welcome on this Tuesday evening live stream. And I'm going to offer a disclaimer before we get started. You know, one thing I try not to do, I'll name drop, but one thing I try not to do is bring other content creators' content to my stream. I try hard to give you folks an honest take that's my take and not necessarily be like, okay, this news story or this thing that's going on out in other areas of YouTube, I'm going to rehash it. I'm going to break that rule in this stream. I try hard. Like the internet media that I consume is for me to consume, not for me to regurgitate to my audience. However, I felt the need to cover this thing that happened with LawTube and with Nick Rekieta. And this is going to be a heavy stream about Nick Rekieta. I gave him props and an apology, or my sympathies for what happened to his YouTube channel last week. And I haven't really commented further than that, but I want to be clear. He is one of my favorite creators on the internet. And if you're interested in more about what happened, you can check out my last couple of live streams. I briefly commented on it, but it wasn't necessarily a topic of my show. It wasn't a set main topic. It wasn't something I wanted to rant and ramble about. So before we get into, the disclaimer is I'm going to rehash everything you've seen on other channels, and I try not to do that. If you follow LawTube, this is going to be more of the same. But in the instance that you don't follow LawTube or you don't follow, and frankly, I hate the term LawTube. I'm going to try to stop using it as of tonight. But, if you follow the lawyers on YouTube, you follow the legal commentary on YouTube, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, I want to bring something to your attention because there's an analysis that I want to take with it. And we'll get to that in just a moment. One thing I do want to mention, we'll be drinking whiskey this stream. No water or milk this time around. Tonight we have Angel's Envy Bourbon. Straight bourbon. Finished in port wine barrels. So, very, very popular, very non-risque choice. A very straightforward whiskey. And, let me go ahead and give it the first taste test. Oh, nice light smell. Nice finish. All right. So, yeah, this will be a stream heavily talking about Nick Rekieta. So, to bring people up to speed, somewhat. I'm not going to go all the way back. I've covered the other stuff in my previous live streams, but Nick Rekieta's channel got removed from YouTube for some craziness. He was being harassed, and he had his channel mass flagged for content violations, and he was removed. Apparently, he had one of his strikes removed, and his channel was eventually restored. But during the time his channel was down, he was getting massive support all over the internet, including appearances on Louder with Crowder and InfoWars, Alex Jones Show. So, people were coming out of the woodwork, from Sargon of Akkad to the journalist Megan Fox, not the movie star, the journalist Megan Fox, which, shout out to Megan Fox Investigates on Rumble. If you're not following that channel on Rumble, that's she's covering some important stuff regarding government decisions about children having access to gender reassignment surgery. She did a very important expose on that this afternoon. I haven't watched it in its entirety, but I'm working my way through it. Anyway, so, fair and balanced, good logic, legal mindset, all these people were coming out, everyone on Flashcast, Flash, that umbrella guy, Yellow Flash, Anna, the Star Wars girl, all these people were coming out, Camelot 331, trying to show, which, by the way, Camelot 331 is going through some issues of his own. He had his race car trailer stolen this past weekend, and he knows who did it, and his local police won't do anything about it. So go find his videos, Camelot 331, where he talks about it, and if you can, kind of join the support to help him out. Okay, but all these people had Nick Rekieta's back. But there were a few notable exceptions, and there were way more people than I mentioned just off the top of my head. I'm not trying to necessarily name drop, but I want to show you the overwhelming support Nick Rekieta had when he had his YouTube channel shut down, when he had his income stream shut down, when he had his ability to feed his family threatened by censors and weirdos. Everyone had his back, except for a few people. And that's kind of where we pick up the story tonight. There's a reason this says LawTube Civil War, because, quite frankly, some of the behavior going on with certain YouTube creators is downright baffling. And there are definitely a lot of videos out there on LawTube about it. I'm going to kind of cover the Law Nerd Clips shortened version, and even that, I'm only going to play portions of it, and I'm probably going to play it on 1.5 speed, because I'm not trying to take up my whole channel or my whole show tonight ranting about this, but I want to cover it, and then I want to rant about it afterward, because I do think there is an important lesson to be learned about this. And, I do need to bring up a tweet, but I will do that while you folks are watching Law Nerd Clips. So let me just... That's the wrong video. Okay. Here we go. And so, shout out to Law Nerd Clips for putting this together. Actually, let's do this. Okay, so you can find this over on the Law Nerd Clips YouTube channel. And this is kind of a rundown of what happened on another creator's channel shortly after Nick Rekieta was banned from YouTube. And so here we go. Uh-oh. Hang on. The audio's not coming through on the... This is... Okay. I'm going to have to turn this back down. Let's try this again.
Uncivil came through. Uncivil came through. And Uncivil gave a big donut. $100 donut.
Sometimes the truth is offensive.
No, wait a minute. Nick only called me like 30 or 50 names that I heard of. So, I mean, I don't know.
Okay, I want to stop that right there for a second. 30 to 50 names. This is the first I've heard of this. And I think this is the first anyone's heard of Nick Rekieta talking mad smack about Hogue Law. Like, if you're familiar with a stream where Nick goes deep on Hogue Law, calling him every name in the book, you know, Richard Hogue, fuck you, dude. Like, where's the fucking receipts? Bring the fucking receipts. If you've got receipts, bring the fucking receipts. Like, seriously. You can't just go saying shit like this on people's live stream. Especially when you're talking about, you know, someone else on the internet. Bring the fucking receipts. If you don't bring the receipts, you're a dirty fucking liar. Anyway.
No.
Nick is his own character.
Yeah.
You know, Nick is my friend, and I'm going to assume that he's in the right until someone proves to me otherwise. Because I, as you guys well know, see YouTube and how they act, and they can act in very sort of, as Rick pointed out, arbitrary and mercurial and robotic ways, I believe was Rick's terminology. And there is that problem. And I also know that Nick himself is generally and genuinely a good person. I've spent some time with him. I speak to him from time to time. And I know that he's a person who is well informed and has a style that works for him and his audience. Because, I mean, you don't get to 500,000 subscribers without it being something that some people appreciate it. And, you know, he can be something that's not to everyone's taste. I understand completely. But he should be allowed to be on the internet and have his voice. And we all should, as far as I'm concerned. If you don't like Nick, not watching him is always an option.
Yeah.
But you're gonna make me defend YouTube.
He should be allowed to be He should be allowed to be there for the people who want to see them. I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
Well, you're gonna make me defend YouTube because you say the internet. I don't think Nick's been kicked off the internet, nor should he be. But,
This motherfucker. This motherfucker.
What it wants to do with its platform, no?
Well,
This bullshit. This motherfucker. Okay, so let's be clear about this. No, fucking YouTube doesn't get to decide what the fuck it does with its platform. I mean, I love you, YouTube. I've been, you know, on YouTube for decades now, you know, as a user anyway. And, you know, I talked about all the things YouTube used to be on my last live stream. But no, you know, fuck you, Richard Hogue. For this take, you know, and again, this libertarian or conservative idea of corporations could do whatever the fuck they want, which has really turned into a left-wing talking point. You know, yeah, but on the one hand, yeah, YouTube can do whatever the fuck it wants, but on the other hand, like, that's the point of us, the users. That's the point of us, we the people. We the consumer saying your product isn't healthy. Your product's not doing a good thing. You're doing a bad thing with your product. We don't support it, and we will boycott you if you keep up this business practice. And so for Hogue to be like, "Oh, I'm gonna defend YouTube now." Well, and then he goes on to say, "Well, I don't agree with all the mercurial ways and blah, blah, blah that they do shit." You're talking out of both sides of your mouth, dude. Like, either you agree with YouTube arbitrarily censoring people for legal speech because, quote, they don't want their brand associated with this or that, But at the same time, you're like, well, but their policies are sometimes enforced heavy-handedly, and I don't agree with that. Well, that's why you, as a YouTube user, have to speak up and say, I don't agree with the way you're using your power, the way you're using your corporate activity. I don't agree. And this was your chance to do that. But instead, you're like, oh, YouTube can do it at once. This dude called me names 50 times. Which, bring the fucking receipts. Okay. So, and I said I was going to do this on 1.5 speed. Let me go ahead and set that to 1.5. And we'll finish this video up here.
Well, now Texas has its way, but that's another topic for another time, maybe. And for what it's worth, Rakita Media is based in Texas.
Good point. The new Texas Attorney General being able to confront big tech now because of their new law. Good point.
So he's got that going.
But now listen to Hogue.
For him.
I don't have a lot of hope for that Fifth Circuit.
Well, I reviewed it and I thought it was really, really good, personally.
Boom.
Well, leaders' lackluster response isn't enough for what Rackets did for a shout out to Uncivil Law for actually defending Rackets and Hogue Law. And
Okay, good. Okay, so here's the tweets. Okay, I don't know if the relevant tweet to my rant is going to come up, but I'm hoping it does because I kind of try to dig for it a little bit and I have yet to find it. But I'm hoping they'll show it here.
YouTube and Alita's live yesterday certified unbreaded.
Girl, you know that I need you, and you're neither keeping nothing for it. These hoes ain't loyal.
Bro, I got his back. And the thing is, you know the fucking pussy ass bitches who aren't your friends whenever something happens, they don't have your back. And I'm gonna say it because none of these other content creators are gonna say it. Fuck everybody who calls themselves, I'm saying it right now. Put my money on this right now. Put my fucking money on this. Anybody who is in LawTube or calls himself in LawTube, particularly those that came on Nick's show, that streamed with him, that were there grifting off him, particularly back in the day, particularly if they were during the Rittenhouse era, or maybe they just became famous and popped off during the era of Amber Heard. Doesn't fucking matter. Anybody who came on that stream, who came on his platform, they grew their channels, they grew relatively big, right? And if they are not covering this, if they're not supporting him, they are full of shit. You should unsubscribe from them. I'm gonna say it. You should goddamn unsubscribe. I'm sorry. That's my personal opinion. I'm not gonna fucking hold back. All these other people that are like, oh, it would hurt your feelings. I don't want.
And this is exactly what I'm talking about. It's up to you, the user. It's up to you, the audience, to say, I don't like your shit. I don't like the way you do things. I'm going to boycott. And I'm not a big boycott kind of guy. Like, there's products I buy from companies that hate me. And there's definitely, but when something like this happens, and people talk shit, when people overtly say they hate you, you got to draw the line. You got to draw the line. And, here we go. We have some people who are fence riding bitches. And I'm going to say it, fence riding bitches. Anyway, I'll let Andrew keep ranting here.
Anger the fucking communist cabal that's going on here. No, I don't give a fuck. If they are not supporting him right now, this is it. This is do or die, motherfuckers. When somebody's deleted off of YouTube, you have to say something. If you're not saying something, you're a goddamn pussy. You're a fucking Judas Iscariot, okay? And you might as well go join the fucking shrooms and Chris Boozy if you're not supporting him right now. Just hands down. I'm saying it, right? These other pussy motherfuckers, they're not going to say it. That's fine. You know why? Because they're too afraid. They're too scared to speak up. Because they're afraid of getting canceled. They're afraid of their sponsors. They're afraid of their fucking gentle Amber Heard supporters or whoever else was on their channel right now. Oh, they're going to get upset. They're going to get angry. I can't say anything to anger the troons. No, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I'm pissed off about this. I'm going to tell you how I really feel. Get the fuck out of here. You guys are fucking traitors. You're fucking out. I'm done. If you're a person who was helped out by Nick, who Nick supported you, he backed you up, and you don't have his back, fuck you. You're out.
So, okay, they're trying to give me the Piers Morgan, Jordan Peterson video that we covered last week. Anyway, so what do you think? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments. Let me know on Twitter. What the hell do y'all think about this? When someone who's in your circle, whether you agree with them about what they've done or what they've said or not, when big tech or government has taken a heavy hand with them and you have the opportunity to speak out and to use your channel, to use your audience to spread the word, spread the message, and speak out against big government, big tech, big corporations, acting improperly. Do you do it? Are you obligated to do it? Does your audience oblige you to at least mention it? And not in a, well, something happened kind of way. No, you're supposed to have an opinion. You're supposed to have the back of your fellow, colleagues. It pisses me off. It pisses me off. And when I say obligated, I don't mean gun to your fucking head, for anyone, being every little fucking word about it, I don't mean gun to your head, obligated. Nobody's obligated. But this is social networking. This is social media. If you want to make a network of people, if you want to grow an audience of people, there's a social aspect of it. And in a social aspect, you're almost obliged to kind of rally when the audience as a whole is threatened by something. And I'll get into more of that here in just a minute, but I want to bring up another video. There's a follow-up video to the previous video. And let's see here. All right. So I'm going to start this one 10 minutes in. This is called The Nose Knows. And basically, the first half of this video is just Drex rehashing what you just saw on Andrew's video and giving his take, which obviously is going to be about the same take. But at this point in time, Nick Rekieta joins Drex's stream. And this is already on 1.5 speed, so heads up.
You are here. Now, Nick, I'm known for ruining all your relationships. I ruined your relationship with Lady Rackets. All of your kids hate you because of me.
Yeah,
and I'm kind of fucking things up with your LawTube people, but only the right ones. Because by right, I mean wrong. Because you have a lot of fake fucking people in your circle, and I was going to allow that.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
No, everybody's always good and chill. Drex, nobody is self-interested or self-serving or backstabby or anything. Everything's cool all the time. There's
all the
never
time,
drama.
right?
There's never drama, Drex. What are you talking about?
Nick, what do you have to say about the fact that you go through all of these things, right? And Nick, do you believe that silence is like the most deafening thing in the world?
Silence is pretty deafening, but you know what's funny is there's some non-silence going on too.
Look, Nick, I think that I should believe this. I think there were some people that thought they were gonna get away unscathed. Obviously, I was gonna let that shit slide, right? Because Nick, you know how this works. People do shit and they start going like, oh no.
Oh, yeah. This is a problem. Okay, so this is a problem I have with bullies, right? Especially the cry bully types. And I'm not necessarily calling Richard Hogue, a cry bully, but he kind of played their tactics this time around. And it's this idea that, I can say something about you in a confrontational way or in a nonchalant way because I don't think you're going to respond. And here's part of the issue. There's been drama before with the whole LawTube thing. There's been several instances of drama, and up until this moment, the moment you're about to fucking see, Nick Rekieta has stayed silent. He hasn't said shit. So for Richard Hogue to then say, oh yeah, he's called me 30 to 50 names, he probably thought nobody was going to say a fucking thing. He probably thought he could just get away with letting that squeak by and then blocking people on Twitter when they've confronted him about these accusations. This is the same shit that the other cry bullies on the internet do. They want to talk tough, they want to bully other people, and then when they get called out on it, say, hey, it's not me. So, for Nick to have stayed silent this long, fucking kudos to you, Nick. You've played nice, you've played in their sandbox for the longest time, but you own the fucking sandbox, bro. Like, they've got nothing on you. Anyway, so we'll continue.
Hey, I was just joking, man. Hey, Nick, we're friends, right? We're cool, right, bro? No, we're not cool. No, Nick, I tell these people and enemy of Nick Rekieta is an enemy of mine. So a lot of people don't know this about your mom, is that, so Nick's lovely mom goes, yeah, I have 2 sons, a black one and a white one. And they think I'm lying when I say that. She actually says that to people. Like, yeah, I have 2 sons. They're doing me dirty. No, Nick. No.
It's a no bully stream, Drax.
It's a no bully stream.
Wait, is it no bully stream? Why am I even here? I thought I came here. Look, I saw a little clip earlier today. I don't know if you saw it. It was one homie and 2 less homies, we'll say.
The one you post on your locals?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was coming. I thought you guys talked about that on this stream.
Oh yeah. So Nick, I have a problem with people that, like I said, you and I both share the same ferocious heart. Mine's just more ferocious because I'm a Scorpio, of course. But when you see,
imagine being into astrology and thinking you're a man.
Shut up! What's your sign, bro? So
fucking murdered. Drex murdered.
That little clip, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, Nick has more compassion and decorum than me. He would still help these useless fucking snake, two-faced Harvey Dent ass people. One of them looks like a fucking bruised toenail, and the other, that long-faced Lithuanian bitch. Listen, Mandy Karavicious needs to make sure she represents Lithuania the best way. Nick, when I looked at that and I saw that fence-straddling ass fake support for you, I'm going like this. Oh, I know Nick's not gonna let this slide, right? And then I thought about it, I'm like, oh, Nick's gonna come across these people on other streams. I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. I'm gonna go after all these people. Nick, take other rants, we can get this smoke too.
I fucking love Drex.
That's the government name. Let me go back. All of these people that turned on you, Nick, or didn't show you the proper support, I can't stand for that. I don't. It rubs me a certain way when I see people. Nick, you saw the clip.
And that's why we're family.
If I got into some real shit, Nick, and they were like, hey, Nick, Drex got me too.
No, but listen, like, you guys know me. I don't want to fucking have drama. I don't care. People will do what they do and say what they say, and I will ignore it for a really, really, really fucking long time because it's fine. Like I'm an interesting commodity. I'm abrasive.
Okay, he still hasn't said the thing that I wanted to comment on yet, but he's bringing up a good point here. Is that, you know, being a good friend, being a bro, being a silent person, you know, being just letting your drama, unless you're under attack, like that's one thing. If you're under attack, but if you're out starting shit, I'll kind of give you the side eye, but I'll stay out of it unless you need my help. Unless you're really under attack, unless you're really unfairly under attack. If you're out starting shit, if you're out running your mouth and starting beefs that don't need to be started, a bro is supposed to be like, hey man, that's not cool. But if you're out involved in some shit, you know, I'm not your fucking referee. I'm gonna chill. And I think that's the attitude Nick tried to take the last couple times shit happened, but now here we go. Now it involves him.
And offensive, but what I don't do is I don't smoke people until they smoke me. And
don't smoke people until they smoke me.
That clip, that we're talking about here. I had not seen that clip. I didn't even look. I didn't care. And I gave blanket statements about everybody who, you know, everybody was really supportive. And then I called out people very specifically that I knew were supportive that I could think of. But, you know, like after seeing that clip, I was like, you know, that's kind of some bullshit. Like that's just fucking kind of some bullshit. Because I don't recall ever saying a cross or negative word about either of the people on that stream at all. Ever. Yep.
Okay, the fucking gloves are off. Richard Hogue. Boom. There you have it. You made a claim. Nick Rekieta has now made an opposing claim. Mr. fucking elite lawyer, time to show your receipts, man. If you've got the fucking receipts, let's see them. Bring them. And even if you're not Richard Hogue, if you're one of these other LawTube people, and you've got receipts of Nick Rekieta talking shit behind Richard's back and calling him names, you know, you're welcome to bring the fucking receipts too. But we'll see. We'll see where this goes. I'm not holding my breath. I don't think there's going to be receipts, but there might be. I could be wrong. I could be wrong for supporting Nick Rekieta in this. But as of right now, you made a claim on the internet, on video, and didn't bring the receipts. So until I see the receipts, I'm going to support this man.
There was no reason for that at all.
And I was very surprised to see that. Like, but you know, that's how some people are, and it's too bad. But man, I don't know.
And
It would have almost been interesting. I probably won't now, but it would have almost been interesting to invite them onto a stream in the future to just like completely neutrally, like some trial stream. Or whatever, and see what's going on.
H&M.
And that would have been interesting, but fuck that. I don't need to worry about it anymore. But it was pretty breaded, pretty much bullshit to see that. So again,
You know what you need? I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I know what your problem is.
I don't have a problem.
You need less Jesus. You need less Jesus in your life to smoke these motherfuckers out here. Because you know I am. I'm be out in the streets, man. I want to live in a world where like, you are going to be held accountable for what you say.
Okay, that's the important part of that. Let me skip forward to where this was a local stream later.
Myself. Politely distance myself from, kind of from her. I didn't want to put her. I really did not want to have her come on to my show and get annihilated in the chat. I did not want that to happen. That's whatever.
We would have roasted her after what she did to DUI guy.
It would have been nice to see.
Look. Here's the thing. If you're not familiar with what he's talking about there was a previous incident with DUI guy. We're in the middle of the Johnny Depp trial. DUI guy sitting there with James from court. That's what his YouTube name is. DUI guy and James from court are sitting there. And the guy from TMZ, just mic drops Elaine Bredehoft. And she accuses him of just testifying for the publicity. And he's like, well, I could say the same thing about you being here taking this case for publicity. And it was a mic drop moment. And so DUI guy and James from court are both like, in the front row of court. And all of a sudden, fucking Legal Bites gets all fucking indignant about it. Like, oh, you're not supposed to. Oh, you got to have some professionalism when you're sitting in a courtroom. And we don't support that kind of behavior. And basically banned DUI guy and James from her channel. I got my own issues with DUI guy, but that's some bullshit. That is some bullshit. And even though I've got personal disagreements with some positions DUI guy takes, I'd have him on my channel. I'd talk to him. I'm not for him being canceled. I'm not going to talk shit about him. I just have some disagreements. I support the guy having his opinion, speaking, doing whatever he wants. But he fucking didn't deserve Legal Bites. Like, you've been essentially her correspondent almost every day. And now all of a sudden she's going to act all super righteous. So Nick's like, one thing I didn't want to do is invite her on my channel and have my chat roasting her for the way she behaved. So here we go.
A little bit of like some real support. because today it's me. That's, it was come after me on, and some of the people coming after me were still pissed about the Amber Heard thing, right? When you're covering Marilyn Manson, if you sound favorable to Manson, someone's going to come after you. Like you're going to cover a subject in this world of talking about law where you're going to take a side, someone else is going to be mad. And they're going to come after you, and they're going to try and take you down, and try and deplatform you, even if you're milquetoast, even if you're boring, even if you're non-offensive and completely deferential, someone's going to be mad. Because that's the world of law. You got two sides. So, I'm not a big fan of the approach that was taken to me, and kind of alone in a vacuum, I would have completely ignored it. In a vacuum, I would have ignored it, but it's not a vacuum, is it? Because as I've discussed, this has been going on for a while. But I try to smooth and mitigate and leave that shit to the wind. So, but combine everything up and, well, if you want me to tell then my opinions, then I'll give them to you eventually. So that's that. That's my story. I don't know what the hell Hoag's issue is, but if you're gonna say you're gonna make me defend YouTube here about me getting flagged down by a bunch of fucking trans activists, then peace. Peace. I also think it's worth noting that YouTube acknowledged that it was wrong on doing that. just by the way. So defend YouTube's wrong decision if you want to do that. Like, if that's your prerogative, but that's some fucking bullshit. We're supposed to be in this together, and I'm really fucking tired of people. I would defend everyone who gets thrown off of YouTube. I don't care who it is. But yeah, I'm gonna go. Dude, thanks for having me on. As always, of course, thanks for having my back and my front. And anyway, but with all that said, you know, I'm moving on, moving past, and you know, people who don't want to associate with me never have to, and that's fine.
All right, so that's that. Dox myself here. Okay, yeah, there's nothing important on the screen. All right. So what lesson do we have to learn here? What about this situation? Nick said it all, but what do I have to add to the conversation? Why am I talking about this? Why am I bringing this up? Why am I saying, okay, here's all the content I've been watching this week. Now I want to regurgitate it to my audience. I want to regurgitate it to you. Why am I doing this? Because I got a fucking rant. And it's not necessarily my rant. It's a rant. Comics with your boy Zach. Diversity in comics. Whatever you want to call him. Richard C. Meyer gave this rant about 4 or 5 years ago on his channel. And you know, shout out to Richard C. Meyer. Shout out to Comics with your boy Zach. He talked about how these comics creators that were coming into the industry and wanting to transform the industry and wanting to make woke comics kept using this phrase, the comics community. And he talked about you got to be careful whenever people start using the word community. And the tweet that I was looking for was not in that video. Let me see. See if I could find it. I responded to it. Let's see if I can find it on my own shit, because I can't. She probably nuked the damn thread at this point because she was probably getting ratioed, because I can't find it with search terms that should have. Here we go. Okay, nope, she did not nuke the thread. So this is a whole thread she goes through, basically talking shit about people who were supporting Nick. I want to bring this up here. I had my address bar. Okay. I want you to see this. This is tweet 5 of 7. And we'll look at tweet 5 and 6. I'm not, again, I could give you the context. I could show the whole thing, but you could go find it yourself. It's on her Twitter. It's not hidden. So, but I want you to see this. The community I don't want to foster is one that pressures people to take half-baked positions, foments mob cyberbullying, advocates for the doxing of other people, or leads with half-truths or misrepresentations. And then the next tweet, if the legal bites community doesn't suit you or you need me to be someone else, then that's okay. I wish you the best, and I will always support your right of freedom of speech and association. Fair enough. Fair enough. But I think it's important that she uses this word community, because just like the weirdos in SJW Comics, when you see people throwing around this term community, you have to ask yourself, what do they mean by it? Because guaranteed, and again, props to your boy Zach, guaranteed they're using the term to gatekeep. if you want to be inclusive, then you don't necessarily have a community, you have an audience, or you're part of a group. You're not part of a community. A community has leaders and followers and rules and again, the point of a community is to gatekeep. It's to keep people out, not let people in. You notice Nick Rekieta doesn't call his audience a community. He just calls it the chat, right? And he calls them out. He says, I know you're degenerate. I don't care. I'm not here to silence anybody. I'm not here to tell other people what to do. I'm not here to nanny and bully people. So this second thing, the last sentence she said, you know, your right to freedom of speech and association. Yes, it is your right. And you know what? People aren't going to associate with a gatekeeper. People aren't going to associate with people who say, well, I don't want followers if they behave that way. Okay. It's on you. You don't want them? You don't want us to follow you? We won't follow you. Now, I haven't followed her since the DUI guy incident. But, you know, she could have won me back if I would have stumbled across a based video, like a video she had done where she dropped some based knowledge, you know, where she dropped some important information. Because I see shit people post. So far, it's all fucking milquetoast. It's all fence sitter bullshit. And what Nick said about, okay, yeah, we'll see. The next trial you cover, they're going to come for you. And you know, kind of surprised that she's managed to stay off of the boozy radar right now. We'll see how that goes. But you know what? If you don't have the backs of other people, and you know what? It would make me sick to have the backs of some people on the internet. But if I thought YouTube was being heavy-handed with its policies and banning people who were active targets of a harassment campaign, then I would stand up. I would stand up for people I don't like. Because that's the right thing to fucking do. The right thing to fucking do. Not talk like schoolgirls on a live stream about somebody behind their back, making claims that they're talking about you behind your back and not bringing the fucking receipts. I fucking hate internet drama. I do. As much as fucking Drex and Nick hate fucking internet drama pisses me off. Because it makes me want to inject myself into the drama and be like, y'all need to fucking work this shit out and you need to shut the fuck up. Like, it makes me want to get involved. Because I'm just starting on this YouTube gig. And I'm fucking smarter than these people with fucking 500,000, 300,000 fucking followers. You don't piss off half the fucking internet by fucking... This is the fucked up part, is you think by not taking a side, people aren't going to be pissed. Or you think by speaking out of both sides of your mouth that you can somehow mitigate being pushed one way or another. The internet ain't buying your bullshit. The internet doesn't like being bullshitted with. The internet doesn't stand for sugarcoating. If you don't like Nick Rekieta, fuck it. Come out, have a fucking Nick Rekieta hate stream. Don't sit and be like, well, meh. And make one little pithy fucking comment and then act like you're fence sitting. You're not fucking fence sitting. you're with him, which means if you're with him, then you're also with freedom of speech. You're also with YouTube enacting sane policies, and you're also with big tech not listening to fucking hate and harassment mobs, or you're not with him. And you believe the things people are saying about him. And if that's the case, just make a fucking hate stream and come out and say you don't fucking like him. And Hogue has said pretty much as much on Twitter. I mean, I guess I'm bitching at him about bringing the receipts. I guess I'll show you. Let's see if I... Okay. Okay. So the main criticism I've seen is that I did not immediately jump to support YouTuber Rick Nikita after his channel was banned, and as that Umbrella guy and others have posted, I backed the ban. Now listen to this. This is not true, but let's talk about my actual position. Now y'all just fucking heard him say, well, let me defend YouTube. That's backing the ban. My biggest issue with this platform is the black box mercurial nature. Okay, you want to call out YouTube? Call out YouTube. Don't fucking then say, well, I support what they say. I support what they're doing with that mercurial black box power. And he shows other shit anyway. I don't know how, I don't know, but YouTube often gets it wrong. Well, okay. So if there's a possibility they would have gotten it wrong this time, why not focus on that? Why not talk about that? Why talk about, oh, he may have called me 30 to 50 names that I don't have receipts for? Unequivocally, I then unequivocally, I can say the word, unequivocally backed speech on the platform while continuing to state that realistically nobody but YouTube even knew what had happened. We all knew what happened. We all knew who was targeting his channel and why. We all knew what had happened the previous 48 hours to cause people to flag his channel. Acting like, oh, well, we just didn't know. You know, YouTube, not even YouTube had said why they banned him. We all knew why they banned him. Anyway, so okay, anyway, so there's some of the users here calling him out. All right, but yeah, you know, you're saying it, and then you get a little criticism, and then you're like, "Oh, I never said that." Well, you didn't use those words. And now you're backing away from your words. I want to see the fucking receipts. I want to see these 20 to 30 names allegedly. Even if it's just one name. Fuck, man, that I'll shut up. You show me the one time before that video we saw with Alita. You show me the one time he's seriously called you a name, and I don't mean like Nick and Drex constantly will, you know, make fun of each other and call each other names. I mean actually calling you a name or bullying you in a hateful way. If you show me that receipt, you show me Nick being scummy behind your back, I'll shut up. I'll issue an apology video. You show me that receipt, I will issue the apology video. But I don't think one receipt's out there because Nick's not the type of guy who will say it behind your back. And if you don't believe me, ask Ethan Ralph. Let's put it out on Twitter. Nick is not afraid to call Ethan Ralph every name in the book and do it on his live stream every night of the fucking week. So this idea that he's being nice about Richard Hogue and just doing it behind his back, I don't buy it, and I want to see receipts. Otherwise, Richard Hogue, shut the fuck up. And you deserve to lose whatever part of your audience. Oh, this is another thing. I couldn't find it. Oh, that wasn't part of that fucking thread. But he also said, people are claiming that Nick Rekieta helped me build my channel. I had something like 44,000 subscribers before Nick, and I had like 44,400 subscribers after Nick. Okay. You're not fucking grateful for 400 extra subscribers? I don't care if it's fucking one. I don't care if it's half a subscriber. I don't care if it's one of your current subscribers who just hadn't listened to you in a while, but came back and listened to you because of Nick Rekieta. I don't care if it's 0 subscribers, but one of your old subscribers decided to watch your content. You should be fucking grateful. But instead you're entitled. You're an entitled little bitch. So, fuck you, Richard Hogue. Alright, I've pretty much said everything I wanted to say about that. The only other topic I really had to talk about was a little bit of Nick Rekieta's other thing going on right now. And he's covering the Darrell Brooks trial in Wisconsin. And quite frankly, it's been pretty spicy. It's been anger-inducing. You know, I'm pretty libertarian. I'm pretty adamant about limiting the amount of power the government has to go after people. And I'm all for giving as many natural rights to individuals as you possibly can. I have a lot of sympathy for the idea of a sovereign citizen movement. But what Darrell Brooks is doing in court isn't that. It comes off as an angry, entitled, fit-throwing toddler trying to reject any authority, any modicum of respect, and any mutual understanding between adults. And, you know, the idea of a sovereign citizen movement is supposed to be about negotiating voluntary contract. But what he's doing after murdering old ladies and children is disrespectful to the dead. It's disrespectful to the living. It's disrespectful to families. And I fucking respect all the officers of that court and those DAs, those prosecuting attorneys, for the patience they have shown this man. Because I've heard of a lot of fucked up court cases, and let me tell you, I'm no thin blue line motherfucker, and I there's a lot of dirty DAs and a lot of dirty cops and a lot of dirty fucking judges in this country. Way too many of them. So one of the reasons I have sympathy for, I don't want to say support, I have sympathy for the sovereign citizen movement, is we need every advantage we can get because the state has an unlimited number of advantages. And when they act upon it in a corrupt or dirty way, that's a violation of human rights. And even Darrell Brooks deserves human rights. So anyway, if you're not familiar, he's objecting to every opposition question with hearsay objections, whether it's hearsay or not, because he just doesn't know what hearsay is. He's asking every witness if they know who the plaintiff is, even though it's a criminal proceeding where the complainant is the state of Wisconsin, and there is no plaintiff because it's not a civil charge. He is rejecting use of his own name, objecting to use of his own name. He's trying to orally argue motions that are supposed to be filed and continuing to try to orally argue them after they've been ruled on and claiming they haven't been ruled on. It is a disaster. I will say it's entertaining as someone who's interested in the law. There's an entertaining aspect of it, but it's entertaining because it's anger inducing. It's entertaining because you, the viewer here, could do a better job representing yourself than this person. If you've watched fucking shitty lawyer TV like Law and Order, you probably know more about the law than this guy. Now, it surprises me because he does ask some relevant questions and some really deep questions sometimes of some of these witnesses, but for the most part, he's trying to use every stall tactic to drag this trial out. It's not going to work. He's going to wind up spending life in prison with no possibility of early release. But, I'll give yet another shout out to Nick Rekieta. He's been covering this on his Rumble channel since his YouTube is currently suspended. So if you find Rekieta over on Rumble during the day, you could watch along with the Darrell Brooks trial, and he's frequently had guests on who know about these kind of proceedings, and so shout out to Nick Rekieta. So we're coming up on almost an hour on the stream, so it's this point in time when I'll go ahead and chill. Down in the comments on this YouTube channel, or on the YouTube version of this video, there's a URL. I threw a couple spaces in there to get through the YouTube censors, because YouTube doesn't allow Rumble linking. But if you take the spaces out, that's my Rumble channel. If you could please go over there and subscribe. Eventually, I'm going to try to move my live streams over there. So if you enjoy this content, I'd like to get spicier than what YouTube will allow. So if you like this content, give me a thumbs up. give me a subscribe. Click the bell for notifications. Share this with a friend. And please, please follow me over to Rumble. This video should be over there shortly after this live stream disconnects, because currently I'm syndicating all my Rumble or all my YouTube content over to Rumble. Eventually I want to flip-flop that and live stream on Rumble and then syndicate and chop up the important parts and bring it over to YouTube. But until then, I will see you this Saturday. Oh, I almost didn't finish my whiskey. You almost let me out of here without finishing my bourbon. All right. Whew. I took a big drink. I got the nose burning going on. Feeling pretty good. Once again, that's Angel's Envy Straight Kentucky Bourbon. Finished in port wine barrels. That's 86.6 proof, 43.3 ABV. So, yeah, if you're... I mean, most whiskey drinkers already have a bottle of Angel's Envy on their shelf, but if you don't, go ahead and snag you one. It's pretty good for the price. Anyway, so yeah, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, share me around, leave a comment below, let me know what I could do better. If you know of someone who would come on my show, we could work something out. We can try to get something going for a Tuesday or a Saturday. If you know somebody that could use my content on their show, let me know. I'm willing to have a chat with people. So yeah, like, share, subscribe, comment, share. Find me on Rumble. Subscribe to me there. Catch you next time, which will be this Saturday afternoon on Mild's Culture Plate. Right here, same bat time, same bat channel.